What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. Like this video if you will, subscribe to the page, and swat the bell so you're notified next time I post a video, and blessings to my patrons. May you have many wives. Links in the description below. So I wanted to talk about in this video why, contrary to popular belief, now is the best time to get a good woman than ever before. Now, I know what you're going to say. Iceman, what are you talking about? Girls are hoes these days. Girls are on Tinder these days. Girls are funneling up to the top 5-10% of men in terms of their dating selection methods, riding the cock carousel, if you will. A term that I coined, by the way. And while I will say to you, yes, that's all true, I will also say this. You guys want to know where I met my women? My wife? The year was 2014. I began excavating the grocery stores, scouring the region. All right. Like in my previous video, I mentioned to you guys how grocery stores are a great place to find women. Why? Because everybody has to eat. The club hoes have to eat. The Instagram thoughts have to eat. None of which you want anything to do with, by the way. The chicks who stay home and read books have to eat. Now we're on to something. The chicks who stick to themselves, who like things like crafting and art, gardening, and so forth, they have to eat. Now we're on to something. The chicks who were homeschooled have to eat. Perhaps now we're on to something as well. Amish folk have to eat. Well, wait a second. Do they still go to the grocery store? I think they do, but depends on your area whether or not you're going to be running into that. But nonetheless, so I met my women at a grocery store in the lettuce area, like a little rabbit. And reason being was because I knew at the time that not everyone is on the dating apps. And those are the ones you want to find. The ones who do not have Instagram posting little duck faces on there. The ones who do not have Tinder. The ones who do not have plenty of fish. Facebook dating and all that other bullshit. I don't even know what's out there these days. Doesn't matter. I mean, I tried it a little bit back in the day. Like I said, 2013, 2014, it was still a hot thing. Pretty much everybody was on the dating. In fact, I think in general, the stigma behind online dating was optimistic. Where now it is shifted. If you guys look into this bullshit online, these studies and all this bullshit, polls and all that, folks are saying that they are dissatisfied with online dating. It's all the same shit. And like I said in a previous video, you find 3 things on dating apps. What do you find? Hoes, playas, and STDs. All right? And the hoes are falling up to the 5% of players. So the 95% of guys on there, they're not getting any action anyway. They're just sitting there wasting their time texting these chicks. Why is it a good thing that we live in today and not yesterday, not decades ago, not centuries ago, not millennia ago, Iceman? Why is it a good thing? How is this better for me? Well, here's why. Most guys are in a defeatist mentality, all right? Because you look at the numbers, you look at the reality for what it is, you look at the studies, you look at the statistics, and you're like, I'm fucked. Most guys are thinking that. You know, it's kind of like the stock market, where you see the stock going up. Everybody's buying. You know that is the time when you want to hesitate and maybe not buy. hold. But then when it's going down, that's when you start buying. And right now, the morale of your common man is on a massive decline. Because we're in this defeatist mentality. Well, not me, I guess. I mean, I'm married, like I said. I got a woman. And she's a good one. And I knew it upon sight. You know, there's subtle things you can see in a woman that showcase notions, perhaps, that she is a good woman. You know, maybe a bit more reserved than others. Maybe a bit more introverted than others. Maybe not all about the club hoeing aspect as the others. Maybe not on the dating apps. Which sure enough, she wasn't. This other chick I met, she wasn't on dating apps either. And I could tell by the looks of her and shit that she wasn't on the dating app. She didn't have Instagram, you know what I mean? And according to this study that I looked up not too long ago, just a couple months ago, about 40% of young women are not on dating apps. All right. Now, some would say, well, man, that means most of them are. But I would say 40% is a big fucking number. Hey, guys, ever run a business before? I mean, if you have, and I were to say, hey, you get a 40% increase if you do this or that on your margin, a 40% margin added to this shit, you'd be like, wow. And yeah, so I mean, the reality is almost every other chick isn't on the dating apps, apparently. So the trick, I think, is to step beyond that defeatist mentality. Part of which, in terms of achieving this, is by realizing that most guys are in the defeatist mentality. Acknowledging that alone gives you the edge. And it's a better time than ever because now we have access to everything. Information and shit. We can get into the stock market. I mean, hell, I just started doing that a little bit. And it's accessible now to everybody. You know, you can just put your money into high yield savings accounts. You can put your money into index funds or whatever and just let that shit build and build. So if you wanted to reset, if you will, I mean, a lot of folks have parents they could go back and live with if they had to. Or you could go live at the city mission. Work a job. Work at the city mission. Put shit in the index funds. Put shit in the high yield savings accounts. Be very, very standoffish with your spending. Don't buy shit you don't need. Don't get car loans. Get rid of the credit cards. Don't play video games. Don't beat off to the prawn, which is one of the biggest ones, actually. Yeah, I remember when I was about 26 years old. Got my own place, 2-bedroom apartment. It's all I ever wanted. I was like, I guess I've accomplished my life dreams. I don't have to work, and I have a 2-bedroom apartment. At the time, I didn't really want a house. I have a house now. I'm glad I did it for various reasons, but at the time, you know, I didn't know that much about all that shit. That's all I wanted. I was like, what do I do? Like I said, 26 years old. This is in 2014 or something. 2013. I don't remember. 2013, 2014, maybe I was 27. But nonetheless, it's like, okay, I could sit on my ass, play video games, and whack off. Or I could go and try to find women. And I knew that the first option, sitting on my ass doing this and that, is just going to deplenish everything. And I'm going to be like, fuck, now I need a sandwich or a cigarette. Not that I was smoking, but I'm just saying, kind of get that sensation. And then you're simply not going to go and hunt. And then that snowball effects, and that's all you do. You don't go hunt. You just sit on your ass. Whereas if you withhold that from yourself, those instant gratifications, those pleasures, you start to you start to foam at the mouth a little bit. You're like, God damn, I need to go catch me a fish. You know what I'm saying? If you refuse yourself pleasure. Well, I mean, that's what I did. But I think that, yeah, and I know that they like the over 6 foot tall guy, right? They like the being in good shape and all that shit. Of which I'm all those things. 6'4". So you could say, well, Iceman, you've had it good. But the truth is, I didn't really have to level up my other skills that much. But there were plenty of skills that I could have leveled up more. That's part of why I'm saying that now is a better time than ever, even though they have those reservations online. In person, there's things you could do, and you don't want to meet the hoes online anyway, because that's what they are. You could get the shoes with thicker soles. You could stand up straight, put your shoulders back, trim your beard and shit, get nice hair. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I have nice hair and nice beard. I'm just saying it's shit that you could work on. Skin and all that. Your voice, the way you talk. Talk from your stomach a little bit more. Like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. A lot of guys, they talk from the top of their throat. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, actually. I got to stop doing that. Talk like this. Hey. You go up to, hey, let me get that number. Now, I mean, I don't know how to fucking, yeah, okay, I've been out of the game a little bit, okay? But there's plenty of things that that can be worked on. The improvement of oneself. And the thing is, with the phones that everybody has now, we're stuck on those damn things all day. You know what I mean? So to set yourself apart, you could set the damn thing down and just start walking. Get your steps in. It's good for your heart, good for your dick, good for your circulation. Change up your diet. Don't eat any processed foods. Stay away from all that bullshit. And what I eat, I just eat meats, vegetables, and fruits. I don't eat any bread, any rice, any pasta, none of that bullshit. I'll eat tuna out of the damn can. I'll eat eggs with nothing on it. I'll eat like an orange with it sometimes. I'll have steaks, chicken, no like sauce and shit all over it. Just basic stuff, man. They put too much shit in the food. And I think that chicks can subconsciously take notice to that this is a guy who has a fucked up diet. So if you get some of those ducks in a row, you're already ahead of most of them. And that's why I think now could maybe be the most opportune time than ever before to meet women. And you can be selective where you go. You could maybe stay away from the big cities, go to little towns, go to little stores, this and that. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it starts here, you know, it starts with yourself. It starts in your mind. And yeah, they have those little stipulations online, but there's subtle things you can do to yourself, improve upon yourself, where if you go and shock them with your persona, with who you are, you're going to look better than the fake things online. And that's another thing I think is they're starting to take notice that a lot of these profiles and stuff on the internet and on Tinder and all that shit, they never line up with how the person is, you know? Like there's always this dreamy state, to my understanding, that women have imagined for a man, including ones that they see on their dating apps. And it always turns out differently when you meet them. They're not as alpha as you thought. You know, from a woman's perspective. They're not as tall as you thought. They're not as muscular as you thought. Their voice is the way you thought it was. They're uglier than you remember. You know, the pictures were older. They look fucked up now. You know, there's all sorts of things that are constant deterrence when it comes to this online shit. And I think there's starting to become a shift where they're getting sick of it, man. They're getting sick of the same old dopamine chase to end up with nothing that they get from these online apps. I remember when I was on them for a little while, 2013 or so. Man, I remember this one bitch, I thought it was a guy. Came to my house, it's like, God damn. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Remember, I kept them in my garage. I mean, it was probably a chick, all right? But I mean, you know, the photos, they do the makeup, they do, I mean, everything. I mean, I don't know. It probably wasn't. But the chick, she looked more masculine than she did in the damn photos. And I even checked the finger digit ratio. Look that up if you have to. I asked her to put out her hand. But, I mean, I scrammed from that situation quick. And in the photos, of course, a little dress, this and that. You know, makeup on, nice long hair, nice soft face. I mean, it's hard to tell. You know, the pictures were a little blurry. I mean, people, they do fucked up things on there. You just never know what you're going to get, man. You got to stay diligent. And this other chick was like Chewbacca or something. She was fucking tall. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. No pun intended. But I mean, it just wasn't my style. You know, like I would have been okay if she was just really, like I said, I'm 6'4". She wasn't quite as tall as me, but she was pretty fucking tall. And that was not a turnoff necessarily, but just everything else that might have come along with it. Chick was like a Wookiee or some shit. I'm really not trying to be mean. I'm just stating the facts, how it is, you know, and things aren't always what they seem is my point. Another one, of course, they're always fatter than what they seem, right? This other chick, she was a little fatter, a little older. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, this ain't what you look like in your photos. That's why I never wasted my time like going to dinner or anything, because you never know what you're going to get. I learned that quick. Don't go out to dinner. Meet at a coffee shop, and just get yourself a little tea or something. Then you only spend in like $2 or $3 on the day. You don't buy for her, of course, because that's sexism or whatever these days. So you don't even have to worry about that. You just buy for yourself, and yeah, if you don't like it, you can scram. But of course, that's under the impression that you're even going to mess with online. I know a lot of you guys still are, even if you've seen this video. But that's kind of how I rolled with it. But it is interesting. I mean, let me know in the comments, what is your experience with that? Things aren't what they seem on those things, are they? Has that changed? I mean, like I said, I haven't been on them for like 10 years now. But in my day, that's how it was, is often it wasn't as it appeared. You know, like this chick looked a lot different in the photos. So I learned quick. But anyway, if you guys will like this video, subscribe to the page, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace be with you.